My name is Brendan Patrick. I'll be your host for today's podcast on mental health, and today I'm joined with
Noah.
Hello.
We decided to bring someone from outside of Sunnyview today, just to get a sort of experience on what balancing work and work and personal life can be like outside of just Sunnyview. So the questions are going to start fairly simple, and they're going to get a little bit more complex.
Yeah.
What does mental health mean to you?
You go.
Okay. Mental health for me is just like the state of how, like, from a 0 to 10 of like well-being of like your mental state. So how well you are able to handle situations and events. That's how I see it. I don't do psychology or anything. I'm a science student. I don't know what I'm talking about.
I don't either. To me, mental health is my ability to sort of handle my day-to-day life. If my mental health is declining a little bit, then I'll sort of struggle to sort of hold everything together, which can sort of be a problem for me because I bite more than I can chew. But, I handle, obviously. But, the problem about mental health is it affects everyone differently. So some people are able to handle more than others. And that, creates a big issue, especially if you are balancing a lot of things at once. Do you have anything?
Well, kind of what you've been saying, and also like how you handle different situations depending on how you're feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why do you think it's important to talk about mental health in schools or in work, any kind of professional environment, really?
Burnout is a big issue which everyone can experience. And I know many stories from my parents, from myself. It's always important to discuss burnout, especially as a way to prevent it from happening.
Yeah, burnout is a very big issue. And it's like what I've been saying, you need to learn to balance everything fairly and equally. Because if one starts to teeter, the other one will, and it just becomes completely unbalanced. Do you have anything to add?
Yeah, no, I mean, I dropped out of school because of burnout. So yeah, I know how it feels.
Yeah. What specifically, if you don't mind talking about it, in the burnout in schools, what was it?
It was mostly that it was a lot of weird work at the same time because I did online school. So then it was like you have to do everything by yourself. You have no help. So what's up?
Yeah. Online school has been a very confusing thing to me for a while. My best experience with online school was quarantine. So I don't exactly have the best experience with it. But, I hear a lot about online school and, what it's like. Because it completely differs from normal school. Because here you have to be there. Yeah. You have to get up in the morning. You need to prepare yourself, and then you need to be there. Is it similar with online school or?
Well, it depends because some do online school where you sit on meetings with teachers. I did online school where you just get assignments for the entire year.
Wow.
Yeah, so you get everything at the same time. And
everything at once.
Yeah, and then it's just do
wow.
this and this and this. So that's what made me stop because it was just way too stressful.
Yeah, no, I understand that completely. On that topic, what do you think are some common misconceptions about mental health?
I don't know really.
No?
That people think that it's very clearly visible when someone has a poor mental health, that it's visible in how they act, but I think it's the opposite. It's very hard to tell someone's mental health by how they act, especially because if someone has a poor mental health, they would try to hide it, and that would make it even less obvious.
I think that's another reason why it's so important to talk about it in schools, because people need to realize that it's okay to reach out. If you're feeling overwhelmed, if you're feeling stressed out, there's more often than not, there's people in your life that can help you out with that.
Yeah.
And that's another reason why I think it's so important to talk about, because if it's talked about, people have the sort of inspiration to reach out about it. A big misconception, I'm going to get a little bit controversial here. I was speaking with my friends earlier, and they said mental health isn't real. Yeah, I completely disagree with that.
What?
There's this common misconception that mental health is just in your head. And I feel like it's like what I said. A lot of people don't worry about their mental health, and they just brush it aside, really. It's not to the point where you have it, but you don't show it. You just don't believe you have it at all. And it's like I said, mental health affects people very differently. So if one person is building up a lot of work at once and they're completely fine with it, it might be different for another person who's a little bit in a more vulnerable position, where if work starts to pile up and it starts to build up, it just becomes overwhelming.
Yeah.
Anything to add?
I think you've added a lot of information yourself there.
Yeah.
Mental health is a real thing, and
Mhm.
it does deserve to be talked about.
Mm.
I agree what you mean by what you say, that it affects people in different ways. Some might not even realize that they have it because it doesn't affect them as much because they're not doing things that negatively impact their mental health.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just a belief overall that mental health isn't real, I feel like is, again, very controversial. It's difficult to say something like that. I am of the strong belief that it is real, because if it wasn't real, then how is it so impactful?
Yeah.
It's there. If it wasn't real, it wouldn't be there. How can we help students understand that mental health struggles are normal, or nothing to be ashamed of or hide?
I think just talking about it more in general in schools, and even if it's not schools, like clubs in theater and whatever,
Yeah.
just to make sure that everyone knows that they can talk about it if they need to.
And also like openness in between peers and with like parents as well. I feel it just, we need to be more open about it with people who we're close with.
Yeah. It's very difficult to do that, though, I feel
Yeah.
like. Because if your mental health really is declining, I mean, depending on the person, because obviously we've all struggled to some extent. And when I struggled, I honestly thought it made me a little weak to admit that I was struggling. And that created a big sort of power struggle between my work life and my personal life.
Yeah.
So if I focus too much on school, that means, because a lot of the times my friends hung out, and I wasn't motivated enough to go out for the day. I wanted to sleep in. I wanted to rest. And that might cause a few problems with them, because, they say, oh, well, you're our friend, you have to hang out with us. And I tell them, hey, I'm a little bit on the edge right now. Of course, depending on the person, those that don't believe that mental health is real, they won't understand that. And that, mental health is a very volatile thing, especially with people who have struggled a lot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like, in terms of how we can help, it's like what you said.
Yeah.
We just need to let them know that it's okay. But I feel like there's a lot more that we can do. Because it's like I said, some people, they know that it's okay to talk about. They just don't want to for a reason depending on the person.
Yeah.
And I think it should be thought about a lot more.
Yeah, like we said before, like depends on the person. They sometimes might not want to talk about it. Like I've had experiences of people not wanting to talk about it because they feel like a burden on someone else, which I feel is not a good thing to have in your mind.
Mm-hmm.
That talking about something that needs to be talked about is a burden. But if you're you're friends with someone, and sort of that, you should be able to talk with them freely about anything.
Mm-hmm.
And so you should be able to talk with people, and you're not a burden. It's just important to remember that they're your friends, because they're friends for a reason.
Yeah, no, of course, not every friend group is the same.
Yeah.
I've met a lot of people in my life, and I've been in many different friend groups. I mean, you guys are incredible. I know 100% if I'm struggling with something, I can talk with you about it. And that brings me a lot of comfort. But if I didn't know you guys, and if I was in a certain other group of friends who do believe that mental health isn't real, it might be a little bit harder to reach out because of the belief they have of it. So it's not necessarily that you don't have people in your life. It's just that you don't have the appropriate people in your
You
life.
have to find your kind of people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. That's a really big thing. Find your people.
What he said.
Yeah. What do you guys think are some of the biggest sort of sources of stress and a declining mental health?
Just too much stuff to do.
Mm.
Like, getting overworked in school, like too many exams, like a lot of stress you get around the exam season, especially like us now with the A levels and the AS levels and mocks and everything. And for me, in January and February, it's going to be extremely stressful because I have resits and I have mocks, and then there's uni applications, but there's also balancing free time with that, but also studying for all my subjects still because I have the A levels at the end of the year. So it's always like exams, I think, is a big.
No, definitely for people in school, it's extremely heavy. And it's not just the schoolwork. It's, when you're older and when you're like in high school, you're 13, I feel like a lot of expectations are put onto you.
Yeah.
I have constantly everyone ringing into my ear, find out what uni you want to go to, find out what you want to do. It's not that easy. I've sat and I've thought about it. What do I want to do for the rest of my life? I'm 17 years old. How am I going to know that? Right? Of course, it's different for everyone. A lot of people already have it figured out. I want to do this, and I know I want to do this because I'm passionate about it. But for me, I've done so many different things in my life. It's hard for me to find what I really want to hold on to forever, which, it takes a toll on some people.
Yeah.
And I've thought, hang on, I could take a gap year. But of course, that's another misconception. Gap years are bad. I don't know. I wouldn't say so. It's important to have a year to yourself. Especially once you have your education finished, you have your diplomas, you can apply if you want. But, a gap year, it helps you figure yourself out, especially when school is so incredibly overwhelming for you.
Yeah.
What do you think are one of the biggest sources of?
For me, I would say that it's everything social and then having to deal with getting work and stuff like that right now.
Yeah. Like I said, depending on your social group, your mental health is going to be highly impacted because human beings, we're social creatures. One way or another, we're going to interact with another person. And depending on who you find yourself with, it can have a very strong impact. Yeah. And, it's difficult trying to find the right people. It's like a puzzle piece, And I've seen so many animations about this on, all the puzzle pieces fitting in. It's like, it's difficult to find your people, And one big struggle is cutting people off as well. You feel like something's right for you. This group of people that you feel are helping your social life because they're more popular. Or if I hang out with this kind of person, I'm going to end up cooler and more people are going to like me and I want to be liked. But that's a very base level sort of way to look at it. And it's not that I'm discrediting it because I feel like I think that every path that you take is the right path. I'm a strong believer in fate and destiny. A little corny, but I think it's really, yeah. How do you think things like homework, exams, or grades affect your mental health overall?
As I've said before, a lot of it is bad, especially exams that are really important. Like the ones that if you do not do this exam well, you will have to pay a lot of money to do it again in the future.
Yeah, that's one big thing that I don't agree with in this system. It's finals. I think in every sort of system, you should be graded on your work throughout the year.
Yeah. Because
it really shows your progress, right? You start at one level and then you keep growing and growing. But finals, they're just everything at once. Yeah. It's 2 years of your life packed into a 1-hour exam. How can that be done?
Yeah, especially because you could be doing really well in the year and just not do well in an exam. Yeah. And suddenly you have a bad exam, but you're good at the subject and you can't do that subject anymore because you're not good at it.
Exactly. That's a big struggle for me. How can students sort of find a healthy balance between school and social life and self-care and stuff like that?
It's difficult to get a healthy balance. I feel like the first thing to do is, as we've said before, find the right people. Find people who are willing to understand that, hey, I can't hang out right now. I'm exhausted from everything, and they'll understand. That's the first thing. You need to build a foundation. The foundation is normally people.
Yeah. I'll repeat the question. How can students find a healthy balance between school, social life, and self-care? Like, how can you not overwhelm yourself with things?
I mean, I was overwhelmed and I dropped out, so I don't have much to say about that.
I feel like it's important to pick your battles.
Yeah.
It's like I said, I bite off more than I can chew. And that has caused some issues for me in the past. But now I'm recognizing, hang on, if I do this, is it going to overwhelm me? Yeah. And it's like the show that we were going to do together.
Yeah.
Yeah, I dropped out of that. I dropped out of that because I knew, hang on, because it's happened to me in the past where I've done shows at Salon Variety, and it's just been difficult because you go to school at 9 a.m, and then you go for school the whole day, and then as soon as that's over, you go to rehearsal for another 4 hours, and then you get home at 9 at night, 10 at night?
Yeah.
That's too much for me. It's too much for me. And I know that you're handling that well, right?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing the show, and the show's, well, I have a quick break, 2 days, and then it continues going. And I need to be there from 6, and then the show ends at 10:30. I get home at 11. So, yeah, I've been handling it surprisingly well, I think mainly because of study periods in school.
Yeah.
They've been helping so much. The little amount of stuff I manage to do at home can be built up upon the stuff I do at school. But it has been a struggle to try and keep up, but I've been managing.
Yeah, I love... Sorry?
You've also been managing to hang out quite a lot for as much as you've been doing.
Yeah, weekends.
Yeah, but also some weekdays when we've been going to the library and stuff like that.
Oh yeah, obviously dedicating some time to studying or doing stuff together is always important. And I've been for example, when we went to the library sometimes.
I love that. I love going to the library because you're essentially doing everything at once.
Yeah.
You're working on your school life, working on your social life, and self-care. You're giving yourself time to sit in a quiet area and do work.
Yeah.
That's why I really like libraries, and I love study groups.
Yeah.
Which is one piece of advice I would actually give to people. Be in a study group. It's really great.
It's helped a lot, especially in physics for me, having my friends in school helping me. I asked them a question, I don't know what circular motion is, and they explain it to me.
What are some small daily habits that can improve mental well-being? Just small things in your day-to-day life.
Just talking with friends. Speak with your friends. Speaking of everyone. Speak.
Yeah. I think it's just small tweaks to my habits that have helped me a little bit along the way. My sleep schedule is not the greatest. But, sometimes I tell myself, okay, I'm going to go to sleep now.
Yeah.
Because then I wake up in the morning and I'm not tired. And I think small habits over time become bigger ones because that's one big thing about me. It's routine. You need to get used to something. And that's why, small habits. Do you have any sort of small habits that you do?
I'd say just making a little bit of a weekly routine. When we went to the library on Thursdays, or when I have other stuff going on in the week that I have to be at.
How can teachers and staff make school a more supportive place for mental health?
I don't have an answer to that question.
Yeah?
Because I don't know. Because I don't know what the effect of a teacher has on each student. It's different.
For me, it depends on the teacher, really. Because I would be lying if I said I didn't have teachers that I really look up to.
Yeah.
And especially because in literature, right? I love my literature teacher. She's incredible. And I'm in a small class. And the other 3 people, there's 4 of us. And the other 3 people in my class, they answer questions when they're asked. But most of the times it's me talking because I'm so passionate about the subject.
Yeah.
And a lot of the times it feels like a one-on-one. And it's very nice. It's like what you said. Just talk with people. It doesn't have to be about your problems. Just interact with another human being. Yeah. Also, in terms of staff, I think a school counselor is really important. Not just having one, but picking the right one. Yeah. There's another common misconception that I spoke with my friends about. They don't think therapists are actually an important job. again, I disagree with that.
Yeah.
They believe that therapists are taking your money. I mean,
Every
it's
job takes your money.
yeah,
So.
exactly, and it's not just that. I feel like mental health and physical health are the same thing. They hold the same importance.
Yeah.
So if you have a broken leg, for example, usually you'd be taken to the hospital, right? It's the same concept, in my opinion, with depression. You're struggling from depression and it's affecting your day-to-day life. Go to a therapist.
Yeah.
They will help you with that. But again, it depends on how good the therapist is.
Yeah, obviously.
And that's, school counselors is such an important job, in my opinion, because it's everyone that's overwhelmed by work.
Yeah.
Because like it or not, everyone's doing the same amount of work. And again, it impacts different people differently. And finding the right school counselor for your school, it's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually have a story about what you talked about, where mental and physical health should be held to the same importance. I went to a doctor's appointment, and because I had some issues, I'd rather not say. So I went to a doctor's appointment, and so my doctor, she was asking me questions about like physical stuff, like, have you been going to the bathroom enough? That's sort of like, the basic stuff. And then they asked me, which it shocked me and my mom, because my mom was with me. They asked, have you been hugging your parents a lot? I said, Well, my mom, yeah. Not my dad so much. And so it's because what was happening then, because I was sick for 2 months straight, like with a cold. It was stress. It was stress that was affecting it. It was stress. Wow. It was overwhelming stress that caused that to happen. So there is a genuine link, or at least it happened with me.
Wow.
It's like in the show with the character that's sick.
Yeah. No. Yeah, that's a great thing that you're saying. I think, mental health can cause physical health problems, and physical health can cause mental health problems.
Yeah.
They're really interlinked in that way. And what do you think about physical and mental health? Do you think they're interlinked? Or?
Yeah, I think so. Because it's like everything affects everything in the end. And it just depends on how you're doing.
Do you think the school provides enough resources for students who are struggling?
I've never been to the school counselor, so I don't know anything about her. But I do know that there is a school counselor in the school, and that's all I can say. Yeah.
I think it's great because the government made it illegal to not have a school counselor at your school.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's by law now, if you own a school or you have a school, that you have to, I'm pretty sure, I might be wrong. But I've been seeing a lot of schools hiring school counselors, and I think that's incredible.
Yeah.
Because again, school counseling is such an important job. So many students are going to come to you saying, hey, I have this problem, and it's your responsibility to help that kid. Do you think, what kind of programs or activities could schools introduce to promote mental wellness?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know, because each person, the mental health can be helped in different ways. Like for me, going to theater, doing theater, playing music, that helps me mentally. And obviously for someone, listening to loud metal music doesn't have the same effect. Like my mom, it stresses her out, it doesn't stress me out, it calms me down. So you can't really have just one thing. You need to have a variety of activities, like sports and theater clubs and debates, because each person's more therapeutic one thing than another.
I love the theater club. I love Stagecoach. Yeah. It's like what I said. Any social group that you're in will improve your sort of mental wellness.
Yeah.
And schools need to promote that. They need to recognize bullying a lot more, I feel like.
Oh yeah.
And bullying is such a broad topic, and it's so difficult to handle as well. I'll give credit to schools because bullying is such a broad thing, and it happens so much. It's incredible. You don't notice it most of the time, and especially if it's a large group of bullies. Because how do you handle that? You know, you have a class of 20 people, and majority of them are picking on just one kid. What do you do? It's a difficult situation, because how are you going to punish 10 kids for, as much as it may be controversial of me to say this, but that doesn't change the fact that it's difficult for schools to handle that kind of thing. So I think a middle ground sort of needs to be reached there. I don't know what middle ground, because again, I'm not really a professional. I'm very experienced, I feel like, in terms of mental health, but yeah. What strategies or activities help you manage stress?
Said it before, theater and music, 100%, those two.
Yeah, I feel like theater has helped a lot, and also since we started the band, that's been helping. And working backstage at the theater has really been helping a lot.
Yeah, small break. We're Bouquet. Check us out on Instagram.
Follow our Instagram. I'm not sure if we're allowed to say this.
Yeah, no, it's fine. Yeah, I love the band.
Yeah.
We're a great band.
We're promoting ourselves.
Sorry.
I think music is a big one for me. I really love music. I listen to it constantly. And I find it really funny that you say that metal helps you with your mental health.
Yeah.
I love that, because it does with me as well. It doesn't just have to be soothing or relaxing music, though of course, depending on the person, you would want soothing and relaxing music. It's just music that you enjoy.
Yeah.
It's music that pumps you up. You know, it gets you in the right mood, in the right sort of wellness.
Yeah.
And that's a great strategy for me. It's just sitting and listening to music for as long as you want. Who do you turn to when you're feeling overwhelmed?
My friends.
Yeah, friends.
My friends, 100%. This group, us, inclusive other people, 100%.
Yeah, it's the same for me.
Yeah.
It's my friends. Though, you know, my mother, she's a single mother. And, you know, it's very difficult. But she is a great person. And I mean, I might be biased because she's my mother, but I do think she's one of the greatest people in the world. Yeah. And I really look up to her because she's strong. You know, it's like I said, mental health. It's difficult to sort of handle that kind of life. You know, a single mother raising 2 kids. Yeah. Come on. How do you put up with that? So I think the people that I turn to are the ones that I really admire. I think, you know, the strongest people are the ones that are able to put up with so much and still be who they are. It's like what I do. It's whenever I experience a sort of bump on the road and it tries to bring me down, I'd never change who I am. Of course, if I'm the problem, then I need to pay attention to that and recognize, hang on, I need to change this. But if it's an issue that is out of my control, that there's not much I can do about, I have hope in myself. I have faith in myself that I never, you know, change for the worse. And this is a really deep question that I'm about to ask, if the others haven't been. Do you think people are more generally inclined towards evil or towards good?
I feel like it is human nature to be inclined towards good, but people are tempted towards evil. That's how I see it. It's like, naturally, when you see someone hurt, your first instinct is to go help them. But then your second instinct is, should I help them? Or where do you hold back? So your first thing is, I want to do something. Second one is, should I really, or should I just wait? So it's like, you do good, but you hesitate. And when you hesitate, that's towards evil, I feel. That's how I see things.
What do you think?
I'd say the same, but also there's like some kind of middle point of it. Because I also believe that everyone's good until they prove that they know.
Yeah.
Which has caused problems.
It may be a little bit sort of pessimistic of me to say this, but I do have a small belief that people are very inclined towards evil. There's this lyric from a song, "It's so easy to laugh, it's so easy to hate." I love the Smiths, by the way. It's a great lyric, and I think it embodies how hard it is to actually be a kind person. It takes strength to be gentle and kind. I just referenced the lyric again. It's a lot easier to fall downward than to climb up.
Yeah.
That's why I think people, more often than not, are generally inclined towards evil. Because it's easy to just let your mental health decline. It's difficult to work on yourself. It really is. It's hard. It's a hard thing to put up with. So when it comes to, letting your declining mental health take hold of you and become a bad person, that's why I think people are generally more inclined towards evil. That doesn't, I'm not trying to take away from the people that are good. Because like I said, I really look up to those people. I admire those people who struggle with their mental health severely and are still able to put up with their day-to-day lives.
Yeah.
It's not easy. It's really not an easy thing to put up with. What advice would you give to a friend who's having a tough time emotionally?
I'm not going to say anything, primarily because you need to know the specifics of why they're having a tough time.
Mm-hmm.
Like if they're having a tough time because of exams, I'd say you don't need to be studying 24/7. Take a break, like an hour, go outside on a walk. That's helped me a lot. A friend recommended me to get off my chair, put a jacket on, and just walk around the village for a bit, which definitely helped a lot. But it just depends on the circumstance. There's not like one thing that fixes everything.
Yeah. I think it all boils down to one thing, really. It's to motivate them to do the thing that they don't want to do.
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's a lot easy. It's a lot easier to decline mentally. So you just need to motivate them and show them, hang on, you can do better.
Yeah.
Like you can be better. What advice would you give?
I'd say just to let them know that they can always talk to me about anything, so that whatever they're dealing with, they have someone to go to.
How does social media impact mental health?
Negatively.
Negatively.
Very negatively. Because addiction to social media is a very bad thing. And social media is built to be addicted. So therefore, it is negative in the sense that it is affecting many people negatively. I've seen circumstances, actually in Spanish. For year 13 Spanish, we need to do a debate. And for Spanish, my Spanish teacher, Mr. Roldan, he sent us a documentary. And one of the stories that was told in the documentary was of this 13-year-old girl who's struggling for mental health because of social media and unrealistic standards and all that. And so I feel like it affects people negatively, but also, on the other hand, social media can also allow you to find a better way to deal with your problems than other ways that you would think are the way that help you the most, but they're actually very negative towards what you do.
Yeah, I also feel like there's a lot, like it's easy to misunderstand stuff on social media, which has caused problems for many people.
I think social media has its pros and cons. The cons are everything that you've just mentioned, that it can cause a lot of misconceptions about what kind of person you should be. I think I mentioned this in a previous podcast. There's this form of content called black pill content, and it basically pushes this agenda that if you're ugly, you're going to struggle in life. That's bad.
Yeah.
That's really, really bad. It's because it worsens those who have that belief in the back of their mind.
Yeah.
That, hang on, I need to look good, I need to do this, I need to do that. But at the same time, I feel like social media opens a lot of windows as well. Especially in the social sense. Because I text you guys all the time.
Yeah.
I text you a lot. And I text you a lot as well. And if I weren't able to do that, I mean, obviously it's important to have face-to-face contact, but social media enables you to talk when you usually aren't able to.
Yeah.
Like if you're just at home, if you're relaxing, if you're doing whatever, just send a text to your friend. You're like, It's also with, if you're sad at home, talk to a friend. Social media enables that. It enables you to talk when you're usually not able to. How can young people use social media to spread awareness about mental health?
Talk about it.
Talk about it?
That's it. Talk about it. Like how you said, message people, message your friends, talk about it. I've seen many videos of people online talking about their struggles and people in the comment sections helping them. And, like it's always a positive thing if you're able to share it with someone, even if that's as long as you don't find yourself in the corner of the internet that's very negative. But just shift it along. When you see a video that you don't like, just skip it.
Yeah, there's this account on Instagram called Hope Core.
Yeah.
And they basically just post content that is dedicated to making your day. Come on. That's incredible. If you could send one message to all students about mental health, what would it be?
You're not alone.
That's a great message. That is a great message. For me, it's, talk to someone. You're not alone. It's okay to struggle. And it doesn't make you weak to go and talk with someone else about it. I actually think it makes you stronger. One part of improving yourself is admitting that something is wrong. So being able to get yourself vulnerable in front of someone that you trust and telling them your problems, that goes a long way.
Yeah, someone once said to me when I was in school, it's okay to be it's okay to not be okay. And that really made me think that it was like...
Yeah. Well, I think that's everything then.
All right.
Yeah. Wow, that was a really deep podcast. Thank you, everyone, so much for listening. And that's it. I feel like I talk too much.